Well, hey ho, everybody. Welcome back to the Square to Circle music channel. I'm your pal Aaron. That's right. And here at the Square to Circle music channel, we talk about all things circle and square. That's right, record collecting, music appreciation, all that grand shit. This is going to be a fun new episode, an edition I like to call insane sinus infection. So bear with me. I'm playing hooky today. Deservedly. I definitely shouldn't be at work, so you guys get to hang out with me and play hooky. So let's do that, shall we? I had a pretty great weekend of digging through the junk stores and all the thrift stores around town. So you guys want to do that? Let's talk about another episode I like to call Tales from the Thrift. That's right, boys and girls, you came to the right place to talk about all kinds of cool secondhand gems. So I'll just get right into it. Try not to ramble too much. I'm all hopped up on goofballs, hopped up on sinus pills, pseudoephedrine and shit. So please excuse the strange timbre of my voice and the nasally quality of everything here. So I'll try to make this as fast as possible. But I came across some magnificent shit this week, guys. I'm really, really excited about it. So let's just dig right in. These are my CDs that I've found. I've been buying lots of CDs lately. I don't know why, because they're the cheapest of all the media because of all the retro vintage crazy hipster kids that are buying up and fucking up all of us old boys and all the hunters and diggers who've been doing this for like decades. All of our honeypots have been robbed. So I don't know, I'm back to like looking at CDs because I can still get them for $1 now, as opposed to like I see cassettes now for at the junk stores for $2.99, $3.99. It's like, what the fuck, man? But it is what it is. Records are $3 a piece now, $4 a piece at some junk stores. It's crazy. So I'm buying up a lot of CDs just to like, have interesting new shit to listen to. When you buy stuff on a thrifty scale, it's affordable and great way and great fun hobby. So blah blah blah. Here's my CD finds. A huge big fat pocket of awesome shit from my formative years that I love so dearly, the 90s, when I was like in high school and stuff. And this one, I remember liking these guys quite a bit. My sisters adored them. But yeah, the Cranberries, that Irish, moderate rock band out of the early 90s, super cool. This was before their biggest one, No Need to Argue, but this one was called Everyone Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We? This one has that, their first big single, Did You Have to Let It Linger? Yeah, I like that song. I like a lot of these songs. They're fucking great. And, R.I.P. to what's her butt, Dolores O'Riordan. I think she just died probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Pretty sad. Me and my sister were really bummed to hear about that. So I got the Cranberries and, love those guys. I promised my buddy Nick that I would do my very best to really try hard and to try to get into Oasis. Ever since 1995, when that shit dropped hot, I just couldn't get into it. So I'm gonna try Nick, I promise. Got their first big one. What's the Story, Morning Glory? Yeah, What's the Story, Morning Glory? I think it was 94 or 95. So I'm gonna try hard. But for $1, you can't argue with some things. It's shimmering and shining, beautiful. Yeah, I haven't had a copy of this ever, so I love U2. A lot of U2, not all of it, but a lot of it. So a great copy of Achtung Baby is fine by me. Really cool, elaborate fold out. I never had this album, so I didn't realize they had all this really fantastic insert stuff and just a really fantastically packaged album for 1991. So yeah, pretty cool. Achtung Baby. More 90s shit, super stoked. Loved these guys in 1994. Porno for Pyros. Yeah. What was this one called? It was just self-titled. Porno for Pyros, probably 93, 92 or 93. We'll make great pets. We'll make great pets. Perry Farrell and all his crazy cray shit. This was post Jane's Addiction, right? Dave Navarro left Jane's Addiction in probably like 92, 93. And then Perry Farrell went on and did this, and this is kind of cool. I'm not going to say I like it better than Jane's Addiction, but it sure is fucking great. Dave Navarro, of course, joined Red Hot Chili Peppers for one album, which was odd. Shout out to Homeboy, what's your name? Homeboy, Homegirl, not really sure. Titled on YouTube, K-Star. Shout out. It's been really fun chit-chatting with you about music, and you recommended this to my my video that I did about my favorite female artists, and how you were surprised, like, dude, dig into PJ Harvey's catalog. And I, knew about it in high school and just didn't really ever give it a shot. So here I go. I'm going to really dig into some PJ Harvey. I'm sure she's fantastic. Everything that I remember hearing in high school, and like everyone else, that they rave just as much as you do. So yeah, I'll get into it. Pretty stoked about that. And even cooler, an interesting album called B-Sides of hers. It's just a real short EP, 6-track, just kind of a, the not so, normal hits. So that should be fucking cool. Stoked about that. Forgot to mention the name of that first PJ Harvey album. Rid of Me. Probably 93, right? Somewhere around there, but yeah. Stoked to dig into that. Stoked to really, really sink my teeth into this one. Some classic Herbie Hancock with a nice price sticker and everything. Clean as a Whistle, 1984. Some sick fusion funk from our man Herbie Hancock. I've never heard this album, so I'm stoked to take this one for a spin for sure. What's it called? Sound System. Sound System by Herbie Hancock. $1. I love this shit. $1. I love Ryuichi Sakamoto, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, like actual, modern day contemporary composer from Japan. He didn't start out as that. He was, he was into pop, the pop scene in Japan in the early 80s and stuff. He had all kinds of groups. But these days he composes amazing film music, like incredible film music. And so this, I'm assuming, is probably kind of an intermediary period in the 90s, between when he really got into his, classical symphonic style for film. And this is primarily piano, I'm assuming, but yeah, Ryuichi Sakamoto's album Beauty. I think I read it was 91-ish, something like that. I don't recall, but yeah, really stoked about this one. Love the shit out of him. One of my very favorite film compositions is by him. That's for a later story. Really cool find. Found me a Sigur Rós album. I don't know a ton about these guys, but what I have heard, what people, coined post-rock, they're kind of gods of post-rock, and I don't really use that term as a descriptor for like a genre of music, but you could say that these guys are kind of, like I said, godfathers of that. Icelandic? Are they Icelandic? Sorry, I can't remember exactly, but I think they're Icelandic. Yeah, really stoked to dig into this one too. Everything I've heard of theirs is at least intriguing. I can't always listen to a whole album. I've tried. So this will be perfect for the car, taking drives. Just like, pop that on and get to experience that in its fullest. The album was called, I couldn't find it written anywhere. It's not on either spine, and it's not on the back of the jacket. Interesting. So I'll dig deeper. Last one on the CD list. I haven't had this since probably, 2003, since the year it was released. 2004, sorry. I had a copy of this way back in the day, and I haven't listened to it for 10 years or more. So I'm really excited to dance with Michael. Franz Ferdinand, their self-titled, first release 2004. Like I said, I haven't had a copy of this for a long time. So I used to have this album memorized front to back. Really fucking great. Just that new style of, I guess it wasn't really a new style, but it was just kind of like stuff that I wasn't fully exposed to, kind of that, new wave mixed with punk, pop punk of like the, early 80s UK era, like, lots of inspirations. But this kind of music was very new to me in 2003, 2004. I wasn't listening. I was still like hanging on to the 90s, and I was still listening to just Tool incessantly, And so This was a nice break from that in 2004 when my buddy Nick played it for me, and he was just like, give this a shot, man. It's fucking great. And boy howdy, love the shit out of this one. So stoked to find a great clean copy of that for $1. Only a couple tapes this time, guys. Tapes again, like I said, cassette is a preferred medium these days because of its vintage, retro, nostalgic value, and I get that. I love it. It's pretty hard to find good tapes these days, and now you have to pay $1 a piece for them. Sometimes you can get 2 for $1, most places, but yeah, I found a Hall & Oates album that I'm stoked about. It's a live album, but I've never heard of it. It's at the Apollo, but they play a ton of great hits, stuff that, you know, I can't go for that, no can do. They play that on the second side of this, and so yeah, I kind of like their hits. I like me some Hall & Oates hits every now and again, and I love Heart. Grew up with this album. Of course, the early shit's really magnificent too, but even their 80s stuff, you know, this was huge in the makings of me, a personal story, just kind of like those moments, you know, you're hetero in life, you know, when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, dude, even from like age 5, when my babysitter would be like, you know, singing this song to me, dancing around the house, and you know, these dreams to do. I'd be like, yeah, lady. Falling in love with my babysitter at age 5. You know, the first time you see Daryl Hannah in Splash naked at, you know, Liberty Park, and you're just like, whoa, I'm into that. Yeah, anyway, sorry about that weird ass little story. But yeah, again, like RIP, you know, homeboy just died recently. So now I'm more apt to buy stuff from artists that just kick the bucket, because inevitably they're in the media a lot when they pass on. So you get to read things about them and learn things about their career and their personal life that you're just like, oh, I didn't know that, you know? And so you get a new appreciation. You get a new appreciation for these artists. Unfortunately, it happens after they kick the bucket, but, you know, sometimes it happens that way. A cool album by Meatloaf. I don't know anything about Meatloaf at this period in time in his career. It's called Midnight at the Lost and Found. So probably what, like early 80s? 83. Yeah, that should be cool. Digging some tasty Meatloaf. And last cassette I found, which was really cool find, because, you know, everyone likes Escape by Journey. It's now I got a copy I can throw in the work truck. I can drive around the work truck with my daughter and son on weekends. Don't stop believing. They love that song. All right, everybody. Now what you actually came here for. Let's check out the cool records that I got. Before we get into the records, I want to remind you guys I have a contest that's coming up shortly, in like probably 10 days is the end of my contest. I'm of course not going to hit my goal, which I am not butthurt about. I don't give a damn. But just do the contest. You can still enter to win some cool crap from me. So scroll down in about a month in my video history, look for the, you know, the icon that looks like this, you know, the thumbnail, and join my contest, follow the instructions, and yeah, there's that. Visit me on Instagram. I'm Square the Circle Records at Instagram, you know, and there's my spiel. So, records. I found some great shit. Sorry guys, I'm really doped up. I found some really great records this time, guys. So let's get into them. Pretty fat stack. I've never listened to anything that Robert Plant did outside of his, you know, career with Led Zeppelin. So this is probably what, like 82, 83, 82, shortly after the death of Bonzo. And he started, you know, doing his own solo career stuff. So I'll have to check it out. Pictures at 11 by Robert Plant. I'm sure it's probably pretty fucking cool. So affordable, and it was clean, super clean. Really, you know, the art style of that early 80s. It's intriguing to say the least. Yeah, clean wax. I love this label, the Swan Song art, super cool. There's that. Decades and decades upon decades ago, my mother was in a dinner theater, you know, local community theater production kind of thing. But not every community theater in every major city is like a dinner theater style. It, you know, some are, some aren't, but this one happened to be smaller. It was kind of like set up like a cafe, and it would seat probably 65 to 75. And anyway, she would do that type of thing sometimes if what they were putting on was worthwhile. And there's this awesome musical review style show. It's not a full-on, like, you know, stage Broadway style production. It's just kind of like meant for dinner theater, and it's just a review of all of Jacques Brel, all of his music, most of his just popular hits, you know, known for being a popular folk artist in France throughout the 60s, mostly the late 50s and 60s, kind of coined as being like the French version of Bob Dylan, people have said. But yeah, his writing style is really poetic and cool. I'd liken him more to kind of like, Leonard Cohen and stuff like that. Not so much like Bob Dylan. You know, he's definitely more artistic and, you know, more poetic, and some of it's in English, some of it's in French. Even still, the music holds on. That's one thing that, you know, I didn't really, the Bob Dylan comparison, like Bob Dylan's music just really isn't fantastic at all. So this music's charming and witty, and I've always loved Jacques Brel. So coming across a fun, cool, clean copy of what he has to offer is always fun. Just a weird kind of blind buy. It's, you know, BBC Records label, and it's clean as a whistle. So, you know, and Music of Africa. I'm sure it's fucking fabulous. You know, it's one of those, it's an imported, you know, it's got the import sticker there, and I'm sure it's really quality. I bet there's a lot of great music on here, and it doesn't really elaborate on what you're about to listen to. There's some really slight keynotes here, but not much. It just really talks about the artist and where it came from. Like, I mean, who performed it and what tribe and what, you know, territory or area or country or whatever, where it's from. Kind of cool. Should be neat. Nice little pocket of some nerd music, some contemporary jazz and kind of new age, easy listening stuff that I love. This one is sealed. Should be cool. John Jarvis is his name. Cool art. Early 80s, like 84. You know, he's a pianist, but multi-instrumentalist. It's got some quirky, weird moments, I'm sure, but it's probably mostly just piano-centric. I'll give it a shot. In the same vein, man I've never heard. His name is Stephen Labenzart. Stephen Labenzart. Yeah, this is called Threads of Destiny, and it's independent pressing by his own label, Labenzart Productions, out of Mount Shasta, California. Beautiful, beautiful neck of the woods. Northern California sure is great. Right as you cross the Siskiyou Mountain Range from Southern Oregon into Northern California, you see Mount Shasta in the distance, and Weed, California, and Dunsmuir, and all those beautiful little cities. Yeah, gorgeous place. So you can tell that's where this dude's from. Fucking hippie. Should be really cool. I like to chuckle. I love George Carlin. I love all his classic stand-up shit. And when you find a magnificent, clean copy of this, you have to take advantage. A legendary icon of stand-up comedy. George Carlin, Occupation Fool. That's the name of this album. Not like hyper familiar with it, so I love sitting and listening to, you know, an hour-long bit by legends of comedy. It's fantastic. Here's some more legends, one that I'm not really incredibly familiar with. I don't know a lot about their early career, so it's fun to see and listen to some of the old Fab Four that I don't really know anything about. A pretty amazingly clean copy of this. The vinyl isn't really fantastic. The jacket is in great shape. Vinyl, it would be, I would say, strong, very good. A strong VG. There is just like quite a few hairline scratches, but really nothing of note. And you give it the old fingernail, you know, the light fingernail drag, and nothing catches. You don't hear any or feel any little clicks or snaps where your fingernail would hit. And it's just some smudges, and it's just like needs to be cleaned up. I haven't put it in the spin machine yet, so I bet once I spin clean it, it'll be amazeballs. So that'll be fun to listen to some classic old Beatles stuff when they're doing just mostly covers of, you know, Chuck Berry and all kinds of shit. So the second album. So that's got to be what, 62? Something like that. It's mono. It's in mono. Yeah, pretty cool. Another classic. Found a great copy of Mellow Yellow by Donovan. Love that art. One of the betters, singer-songwriter, poet, psychedelic folk icon of the 60s. Really clean copy of that. Pretty freaking cool. Yeah. Happy about that. Dude, guys, I found so much great shit. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash, The Immortal Men in Black. This is a great compilation album. It's best of, solid red Columbia. Really, really great shape. Pretty cool. Look at how mean he's there, like a mean old dog. Mean old junkyard dog. Johnny Cash. Hey, sinus infections work really great for Johnny Cash voice. You know, I wonder if that's what they did for Joaquin Phoenix in the movie. If they just found a way to give Joaquin Phoenix a really, really nasty sinus infection. And that's how he was able to do his thing the whole film through. Because he walked the line. Man, it's fun. Sounding like Johnny Cash. This looks cool. The Youngbloods. I know of the Youngbloods, and I've listened to a few albums. I don't really own anything by them, but never seen this one. And I like this art. You know, this is like kind of what you'd see on a modern day scale with a lot of groups, you know, a lot of stuff that I like the El Paraíso record label, all that cool stony jazz out of Scandinavia. This reminds me of that art. I love it. So I've just never seen this Youngbloods album. It's called Sunlight. And the standard orange RCA, you know, there's some smudges, no fucking gouges, not even really any hairline scratches on this one, just some smudges that'll come off nicely with the Spin Doctor. So that's cool. Some more cool, like psychedelic folk hippie shit. Psych pop. Some Turtles. Out of all of it, it's like their golden hits is really all you need of the Turtles, right? You got their classics, you know, Remember You and Me and You, or whatever that song is. Great song. Here was something I got just because the art looked dope. And then after like researching a little bit and I actually listened to a little bit of it, it's pretty rad. I like me some fusion guitar, like, you know, jazz, just really cool, straightforward. It's pretty awesome. Pardon me, I have a reminder notification thing I have to get out of the way. Okay, there we go. I need to turn all my notifications off before I start making videos, don't I? Tropea. Tropea by a man named, that's his name. Cool fucking name. I wish my last name was Tropea. He's just got a normal first name. It's like Steve or some shit. Steve Tropea or John Tropea or something. But cool fucking art on that. Love it. Just love the look of it. Like it looks like, you know, like a Gabor Szabo album or something like that. You're like, you know, you're going to get something good out of this. It's fun. It's cool. Funky fusion. Easy jazz. Fantastic listen. For a buck. Some more nerd music for me. Yay! Some classical Japanese folk, you know, ancient, awesome music from feudal Japan. Lots of vocalizations, lots of, you know, all those wonderful instrumentations and pentatonic glory that you get out of Japan. Traditional vocal and instrumental music. Soloists of the Ensemble Nipponia. Yeah, pretty fucking cool. I love this stuff. This is like the Folkways. Oh, no, what is it? The Nonsuch. Yeah, the Explorer series by Nonsuch. Yeah, I love that shit. All those Explorer series things around the world on vinyl. Similar to that, I love these Environments albums. I always pick these up. What is it, like volume 3 or volume 4 that talks about like how this stuff has better effects on your brain than marijuana or something? Like it on the hype sticker on the label on the album says something about that. It's like trying to recreate a better effect than even cannabis can give you. It's pretty funny. But I love this one. I never see the first volume of this. I usually see like random, like the 5 or 6 disc, whatever. But yeah, you don't always see these in really magnificent condition. And I don't know, every time I come across one that's like wicked clean on that classic, you know, orange and green Atlantic label, it's really, these are for guys like me. It's really fun to put this shit on and just let it immerse you while you're doing the dishes in the house, and you can just listen to birds chirping and ocean waves, and it sounds magnificent. If you have a decent hi-fi, you know, everything sounds beautiful. It's the grooves are so minute, and everything they cut into here is, of course you can't see it, I'm silly of me to try to hold that up, but yeah, pretty rad. I don't know why I bought this, but I fucking love the cover art. I love Kenny Loggins. Kenny Loggins, Jesus velvet robe, like giving you a golden ball of light. This will heal you, my son. Come to me. Come closer to Jesus. This white velvet bathrobe. This fucking, you know, surrealistic, you know, fantasy landscape behind him. It's just fucking so great, you know, and his band is equally enthused to be involved in this awesome project. Keep the Fire by Kenny Loggins. And it's, I mean, it's original insert, and it is literally, it's unplayed. It's immaculate. So whatever. This is gonna have some fun hours. I'll spin it. I'll enjoy it. Whatever. Kenny Loggins is fucking awesome. Dude's been to the danger zone. Like, can't fuck with him. In the same vein, again, like, this homie's been to the danger zone. You know Bob Seger's been, he's been through some shit. Yeah, this is the Silver Bullet Band, the live album that he did. I know that there's all kinds of great fucking hits, but it had the original poster and everything. So, yeah, whatever. $2. Can't turn that down. And it's in, you know, fantastic shape. Got lucky. I'm not going to buy anything anymore that has any more than just a few little tiny hairline scratches. Look at that animal. Oh, I was so stoked to find this one too. Oh my god. And it does. It has the original booklet and poster and everything. I love that shit. Son of Schmilson, Harry Nilsson. The legendary Larry Nilsson. Love him. Always have. Love him to death. Dude, the disc was super clean. It's got the motherfucking poster. Everything. Super cool. Love finding stuff like this. Happy about that. I've talked shit about these guys, kind of. I guess, yeah, I've talked a fair amount of smack about these guys. But again, when you come across a copy for $2 and it's in great shape, I'm gonna spin it. I'm gonna enjoy it. It's clean as a whistle. That beautiful Roger Dean artwork. Yeah, Uriah Heep. I've featured Uriah Heep before on my my very asshole-ish episode about, you know, bands that are prog but not really prog. Everyone calls them prog. When I don't consider them to be a progressive band. They were definitely on my list of that. Simply because the art is fantastical and they wear capes and, you know, platform boots on stage. Doesn't make them a prog band. They're kind of a sleazy hard rock band. They're still pretty fucking great in a lot of ways, but yeah, clean copy of that. So stoked to have it in my collection now. Some more Hall & Oates. I bought more Hall & Oates, but I've never seen them. I've never seen this album. Never heard any of these songs. I'm sure it's probably more like Middle Career when Daryl Hall was just really experimental and doing lots of crazy cool shit. I had no idea that he did a ton of the tracks on Robert Fripp's Exposure solo album. Like, when was that? In like 81 or something like that? Or 80. Wasn't it? I don't know. But yeah, these fucking guys. Really cool experimental shit in their early career. Yeah, Hall & Oates. What is it? War Babies? It's called War Babies. Cool. I've never heard this album, so I'm excited for that. Here I go again. I'm buying, every time I come across Sinatra records, I buy Sinatra records. I only bought one this time, but I came across a huge pocket of them. But I've never seen this one, so I wanted to get it. This is Sinatra, Volume 2. Rainbow fucking Capitol label. pretty sure, in beautiful, immaculate shape. So, yeah, that's gonna sound great. Excited about that. Okay, guys, here comes the hypocrisy, which I'm not safe from. I do and say things sometimes. I don't know. I'm not a Bob Dylan fan. You guys know that already. Not just what I've talked about in this episode, but many of my past episodes. I don't really like Bob Dylan. But I dated a girl one time who was really into him, and she forced me to listen to a whole bunch, and this was the only tiny bit of it that I really liked at all. It's very common for most people to fall into this and like this one album, and I don't even really like much of the album, but a couple tracks are pretty all right. Of course, I'm talking about Blood on the Tracks. And when you come across a thrift store copy of this that is in absolutely excellent condition, even better than, Very Good Plus, truly. With the original insert, and the wax is magnificent. You can't turn it down. Now, Tangled Up in Blue is a magnificent song. Simple Twist of Fate is a good song. Idiot Wind. I like Idiot Wind. That's a pretty damn good song, too. Shelter from the Storm is all right, too. But yeah, this was kind of just it. This reminds me of an enjoyable period of time in my life. And so I figured, hey, it's only a couple dollars. If you're gonna, in my opinion, if you're gonna have any Bob Dylan album in your collection, it may as well be this one, Blood on the Tracks. There it is. A couple more, guys. Really awesome finds. I had a really great weekend for digging. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with me and enduring this rambling sickness episode. Massive sinus infection episode. Pretty fun. I found an awesome Deep Purple album. Shades of Deep Purple. Yeah, you can't turn away a Deep Purple album when you find them in pretty all right condition. I'd say Very Good Plus. Yeah, cool label. This one I haven't cleaned yet either, and so a lot of those smudges will come off. It's just finger smudges, and it's just dirt and scuzz from the particles around people for 55 years. So most people never cleaned their records throughout many decades in history. So when they enter my disc washer, it's probably one of the first times in the history of some of these records that they've ever been cleaned. So another fun reason why, I love collecting. These pieces of art have been around for many, 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 many decades. Had a lot of fun people in their lives. I'm glad that albums like this can be happily passed to me for affordable prices. Found an awesome copy of Disraeli Gears. I've owned this before. It inevitably always kind of gets shuffled into the box of the the stuff that goes to the record stores and stuff like that. But this is I've never had a copy this clean. I've never had one from a junk store. You know what I mean? Pretty effing cool. Absolutely magnificent condition. Vinyl is equally as good. Hooray for me. Pretty neat. This is my last find for the day, guys. Yeah, hooky episode of Tales from the Thrift tonight. This is so awesome. I don't know anything about this. I've never seen it. I researched it, and lucky me. I'm gonna listen to it and check it out, but it's got to be something cool, honky-tonk, rock, Elvis type stuff. This guy's called Link Wray and the Raymond. It's a promo copy. It's stamped. Look at that dude. This ought to be really interesting. I looked this up online. It's worth like $100. Pretty cool. Yeah, never seen this before. Pretty fucking cool. Lots of smudges, but no scratches. I'm just gonna clean it. It's probably not gonna sound amazing, but I'll double clean it. That's pretty neat. Link Ray. What an interesting name. Interesting looking feller. I'm going to do a deep dive on this guy and find out where he's from and what he's all about while I'm listening to the record. So thanks again for joining me, everybody. I hope you have a good week. I might even call in sick again tomorrow because I feel like absolute dog shit. So it goes. Peace out, everybody. See you next time.